He got what from Newburgh?
I said he attended Lincoln.
Oh, he attended Lincoln. Okay.
Very smart kid. And he was sent to Washington, D.C. to represent some group from Lincoln.
I see.
And I'm trying to think what it was. But in honor to visit the White House and things like that. But what the occasion was, I don't recall.
Was that back
But he was
back at this time in the 40s when you were early 40s when you were teaching there?
Yeah, early 40s. He was one of my 8th graders.
He was one of your older boys.
Because
did you teach the whole K through 8?
Right, just first through 8.
First through 8, okay.
And
how many teachers were in the school?
I'm the only one. One person, all grades.
One person, all grades?
But you'd only had 1 or 2 kids in each grade.
Oh, I see.
See, so you'd have to get to the whole group. And I understand there were 29 of them.
29?
But I didn't recall. I said, it doesn't seem that there were that many. But
K through 8, or not K through, first through 8, there were 29 in the school, and only 2 or 3 per class. So how many years did you teach there?
I said around 2, but my students say longer than that, so maybe 3.
Maybe 3?
3 or 4.
What year did you graduate from college?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, let's see.
38 or?
High school, 32.
32?
3, 4, 5, 36 I graduated from college.
36 from college, okay.
And then I went to, my first job was in Tennessee, because I went to Tennessee State Teachers College.
I see.
So, of course, they want you in Tennessee. And I went to Arlington, Tennessee and taught there. Believe it or not, I was a basketball coach.
Oh, you were?
For the girls. And all kinds of things. So when I came here, then I think Newburgh was the first place they sent me. Then after that, I went right on to Lincoln. They needed me over there. What are you doing? Well, I was getting ready to get married, so I didn't. Oh, I'd already been to Lincoln, I think, but nevertheless, my fiancé was.
And when you went to Tennessee State, you couldn't go to Evansville College at the time?
No.
They didn't allow blacks to go?
No. 1932, that's when I went to Tennessee State after finishing high school.
Right.
And that's where I stayed until I graduated well, first I went to Lemoyne College because my aunt was sending me to school.
I see.
And she was a teacher in Memphis, Tennessee. And their college was Lemoyne College, a church school, more or less.
An all-black school?
All black.
Mm-hmm.
All black.
So from 32 to 36, you were in college, and then you came out, and your first job you got was in Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
And then you came up to, you think you came to Lincoln first, or to Newburgh first?
I think I went to Lincoln first, because I think that's where I met my fiancé.
Right.
Who was so helpful to me and became my fiancé.
Yes.
Doing so much for me when I was at Lincoln.
I see.
I had a 2nd grade, I think, at Lincoln. And we had to put on big fairs, classrooms, on stage for certain things. And this fellow was in the manual training department, where they taught some of everything. But anyway, he built me a ship for my stage scenery.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And the good ship Lollipop was my theme.
Oh, it was. Okay.
And he had it so that he had holes on the side, portholes, so the children could stick their heads through and sing Good Ship Lollipop.
Oh, yes. That would have been cute.
Anyway, he endeared himself to me through that lovely help
that
he was giving. And then after I came out to Newburgh, that was after Lincoln, he would help me transporting the children. I wanted to take them out to the park,
Right.
Mesker Park, where we were not allowed to do this and that and the other. We couldn't ride, use the swings in the seats. You couldn't use the playground. You could just come
Do you
in.
remember the merry-go-round at Mesker Park? Was there a merry-go-round there?
The kind that you run and jump on and
No,
back?
no, with horses. That's you don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
By the intersection, we were not allowed to go.
Oh.
But nevertheless, I didn't remember. But I would take them to places like that. They were not accustomed to going.
Now, did you live in Newburgh when you taught there?
No.
So you
I drove every
from,
day.
from Evansville. You
From
drove every day.
Evansville.
Well, what kind of what did you drive? What kind of car?
I think I had a Chevrolet then.
A 1930 something?
I would imagine. But I was living at home on Oregon Street.
Oh, you were. Okay.
Mhm.
So you were living
And,
at home.
right. So I was driving to Newburgh every day.
And what do you remember about the Newburgh school?
The wonderful man who would come out and make the fire for us. There was a big pot-bellied stove
Oh.
that
Okay.
heated the school.
Yes.
And he would have that fire made for us and the comfort by the time the children
Got there.
And had a piano. I thought that was great.
Yes.
And the children did a lot of teaching me as to things that they were accustomed to. Like, they went to church every other Sunday, or they could go every Sunday, but a different church. There were 2 black churches there.
In Newburgh, there
In
were.
Newburgh, right. So one Sunday they'd go to one church, and the next Sunday they could go to the other.
I see.
And there were so many rules that the church had that I seemingly was breaking, and they couldn't play marbles, and they couldn't play with jacks, and they couldn't sing certain songs, and all those kinds of things.
They couldn't dance, could they?
Oh, don't think about it. Anyway, after they taught me all the things that they couldn't do, well, I started asking why and bring it in writing and all those kinds of things. Anyway, they found out they were not telling what, that they were being taught things that were not sensible. And they started following my instructions then, that they could play jacks, jump the rope, and all
Right.
those kinds of things.
Yes.
That, were
So the
not
church
allowed.
was very strict about what you could and couldn't do.
Right.
I see.
Right.
Was the school just one big room?
One big room.
It wasn't a
One
bunch of
big-
little rooms or several little rooms
One big room.
with a
one-
lot of chalkboards?
No chalkboards.
No chalkboards?
No chalkboards.
Well, what was in it? What'd they sit at?
Nothing but desks.
Did the desk
Desk.
have?
There was one little table.
The desk didn't have the old inkwells, did they?
I don't think they were that fine
Uh-huh.
enough to have the old inkwells.
Yeah.
But they did have desks where they could sit in a chair and write, or I don't know whether the desk, the chair were connected or not, but they had, each one had a spot.
Right. And you were the only teacher in the whole school.
That's right.
Who was the teacher before you? Do you remember?
Yes, Pinckney Miller. We called him P.T. Miller. He was in my class when I graduated from high school. And that was, I think, his first job. I'm not sure. But
PT or FP?
P, like in people.
Okay.
So
And
he was there.
I wonder where he is now.
He went to New York.
He went to New York. Okay.
And I think he continued to. Yes, I know he's there because his sister passed a few years ago. And I was here and attended her funeral. And,
Do you remember who took over after you?
I asked that. Now let's see what they call this lady's name. I think they said her name was Maddie Miller.
Oh, Maddie Miller was she a principal there? I guess she was, wasn't she?
No, principal. You're the principal. The teacher. You're the teacher. Period.
You're the teacher.
You're
Okay.
the principal.
So Maddie Miller went there first, or after you then? Okay.
And that might have.
Who were some of the children that were there, that are in that picture in the Newburgh book?
Well, they were by families. Leslie Burnett was one of our boys, and then he had a sister. Let's see. Let's see. Everjo Cabell, and she had a big sister.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like she might have been in third grade. Her sister would probably have been in the 7th or 8th.
I see. Okay.
And but Jerry Lowry, he had a little brother in 1st grade. Irvin, I think, was his brother's name. Dolores Barnett, I think I called a Barnett a while ago. That was a sister to Leslie. I think she was a younger, so she'd be in a lower grade.
Right.
She's the younger sister.
And they're all in that picture.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they're all in that picture. And Phillips, but I'm not sure of his name. And that was in November the 6th, 1944. That
Okay.
I was there.
That was when that picture was taken.
So they told me.
Do you have any other pictures of during that time period when you were at the Newburgh School that you can think of?
No, I don't. Not that I can think of. It wasn't. You couldn't afford cameras and things, and they were scarce.
The picture but you do have a copy of the picture that was in that in that book there.
Somewhere,
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
years ago, somewhere.
Now, Steve, we're on Newburgh Road right now, which they've widened it to 4 lanes.
Now, I was about to say, by this time I would have been at school, right?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if you remember that probably wasn't a restaurant way back then, but it's a house. Probably was a house, the Homestead Inn.
No. That little road that was here went all the way to Newburgh.
Right.
And I think they built this one much later, off to the side, and you could turn and miss the little road.
Mm-hmm.
But this went directly through the city of Newburgh,
Okay.
and everything was on that one street.
Right.
And we would go down to the river.
Mm-hmm.
There was parking there, and the boats coming in.
Do you remember any of the restaurants or any businesses that were in Newburgh?
No, we were not allowed to go into restaurants and the average business. You're a black school, you stay with the black school and you get out, go home.
Well, where would you go to get groceries? Would you have to go to a black grocery store?
I imagine they got it in Evansville. I don't know about how they managed Newburgh.
Yeah, this is the beginning of Newburgh.
Sister city, nothing like this. And no, I don't know. I imagine much came from their little gardening shops,
yes.
things like that. No restaurant eating, nothing like that. A little courthouse somewhere where the man in charge of the school would be.
Was the black colored school part of the Newburgh school system?
Yes.
I see, but it was just a separate school.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now, we can go 2 ways here as we enter Newburgh. We can go to the left here, or we can go this way. I think that way is more towards where the school was.
Where the school was, right.
Yeah. But let's go through the downtown area first.
Because all these fancy things were not here. Simpsons Funeral Home. Oh, this is different.
Yeah, that opened in the 50s.
Very new
Thing.
And the school children lived back
back near the school.
Yeah.
The
Couple of streets.
all the blacks lived in the same area, didn't they?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Right. Newburgh Country Store. Gee, how everything is built up. Cafe.
The country store was a church, I think. See, this is a lot of the old part.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the old houses.
Yep, there's a river. And that we had a friend who lived with a white family up high in the hills somewhere.
Probably up
Forget
here.
maybe wherever it goes up high.
What was the family? You remember their
I
names?
can't remember.
Wouldn't have been the Guthries, would it? Guthrie or Warrens or
have no idea.
Eagleharts or Thompsons?
I have no idea. But some of the children would be able to tell me because there weren't many. Now this is the area close to the river.
Right.
They had what they call.
This was the old traction station right here. Evansville and Newburgh.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't remember a traction station.
I think
guess
that's what
maybe
it's
they
called.
come up
Evansville
this
Suburban
way.
and Newburgh Traction Station.
Huh.
Built in 1912.
It's a passenger and freight depot.
Uh-huh.
Cars daily brought merchandise to local
you read
stores
that
and
one.
all.
Uh-huh.
What's that right into? Businessmen. Tower room used by ticket agent as bedroom. And the building remodeled into a home by Leon
And Jane Crenshaw.
Crenshaw.
In
1952.
Mhm.
And erected in 1975.
Well, that sign was put up in
The
75.
Women's Club.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
put that up. I see. Yeah, but the station was in 1912.
Okay.
It probably was operating in the 40s, but you just never used it.
Could be.
Now, see, these are the houses, the old houses where a lot of the wealthy people lived in
That's
Newburgh.
right. It was high in the hills.
Uh-huh.
And we were invited. I was invited once with a friend who lived in the area. I forget their names, but and they were fabulous homes.
Yes. A lot of these have been built later. These back through here.
Mm-hmm. Remodeling. U.S.
U.S. Lock and Dam. I'm going to turn around and go back because I want to go back to the old part of Newburgh.
Park of Newburgh. Old Dam.
You don't remember anything about the Thornton home, do you? It was an old retired Presbyterian minister's home, but it wouldn't have had anything to do with the school.
Now the woman, I did ask for her name. Where did I make a note of that? Because as I think I told you, the librarian was such a wonderful person.
Yes.
And would stop at our school.
From the Newburgh librarian would? You mean from the...
I'm not whether, I doubt that. I don't know whether she just lived in Newburgh and worked in Evansville or what.
Was it a white lady?
Yeah.
And she would come to the Newburgh school?
Come to our school. So she lived up the street from the school. Up high on a nice hill. And share library books with the children
Right.
in my classroom. And she invited us to her home from time to time. And we would take the group and she'd read stories to us. And the children loved her.
Grandparents, homestead. Actually, my great-grandparents were right here on the corner of Main and Cypress, but the house has been torn down.
Mm-hmm. I see, you know, these are newer.
Looks like wicker to me.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. Shutters, and they had them swing
Oh.
in back porch.
An
I'm
old
sorry,
picket
you're
fence.
In your way.
See, a lot of the old houses were torn down in the 60s and 70s, and they built these apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to work our way back to the Posey Street area.
Well, now, this town has grown
Oh, it has.
considerably.
Now the old Newburgh public school was right here. I wonder where let's see.
Yeah, that's a highway kind of thing.
Yeah, I always get mixed up getting back to this.
So here are, yeah, you can see, but that's modern now, you know.
Yes, they tore down the old school. Here's Posey Street. That's where a lot of I think the blacks lived on Posey Street, I think.
I don't remember addresses. But it wouldn't be looking nice.
No.
This is more modern. And I can't recall ever going into one of their homes.
I see.
Somebody would point out
Where they
there.
lived, yes.
Where so-and-so lived.
Now here's Jefferson. There's the school right there.
That looks like the school with a hole in the top.
I know, isn't that terrible?
But no intersection or anything like that. Jefferson Street, how about that? Built all around it. All this was vacant.
It was.
And
Back
I
in
could look out the school window to the right and see the Catholic school.
Oh, you could?
There was a Catholic school right down at the foot of the